Hey guys, and welcome to another episode tutorial with me, Joseph Evans, author of the Secret Sequence books and The Phoenix Prophecy, The Ember Effect, Soulbound, The Secret of Rain, The Last Goodbye and Glitch Girl. If you find these tutorials helpful, don't forget to click that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thank you so much guys. Okay, today I'm going to be showing you how you can let your readers choose whether they're interested in dating guys or girls. So the simplest way to do this is to just ask your readers directly before the story has even started. Using a blank screen with int black night, I'm going to put a narration bubble which simply asks, are you interested in dating guys or girls? And then the choice of I'm interested in dating guys and I'm interested in dating girls. To allow these choices to affect things later in the story, we need to add flags. So I'm going to write the word gain within this first set of curly brackets, and then we need to create our flag name. So I'm just going to simply write interested underscore in underscore guys. The reason I'm using underscores is because flags do not allow spaces. I could of course write these as singular words. I could just have it like that, but I do find that myself to be personally quite difficult to read sometimes. So in file names I tend to use underscores for spaces. Both ways will work, but spaces won't. Okay, let's add in gain interested in girls in this one. Now, you don't necessarily need to have this choice appear at the very beginning of your story. You could have it pop up just before any kind of romance begins, which would allow your readers to jump right into the story quicker. But putting it at the beginning of the story is probably going to be the simplest option. Okay, so that is all we need to do in our setup. And now we're going to want this choice to come into play. Let's say that in this example story, the main character meets the main love interest when this love interest approaches her at a bar. We first need to create both a male and female love interest, which I've already done to save time. I've named mine Jake and Lainey. And I'll just quickly set up a scene. So int bar day. And I'll just have the MC, which I've just named you. She stands up screen left. And you faces right. And to get the correct love interest to appear at this point, I need to write the word if, then a space, then open a regular bracket, and then we need the name of the first flag. So interested underscore in underscore guys, close the regular bracket, and then we want to open up a curly bracket, then 2 lines down, close that curly bracket. Then we need the word elif, a space again, open up a regular bracket, and then we need our second flag name. So interested underscore in underscore girls. And just the same again with closing the regular bracket, opening the curly bracket, 2 lines down and close that curly bracket. So what this means is if the reader has chosen that they want the MC to be interested in guys, the contents of these curly brackets occurs. And if they've chosen interested in girls, the contents of these curly brackets occurs. So of course, all we need to do is write in the entrance of each of the love interests. So we write at Jake, our male love interest. He enters from right to screen, let's say up screen right, if they've chosen interested in guys. And if they have chosen interested in girls, we want Lainey to appear. So at Lainey enters from right to up screen right instead. And then let's just add in something like each character saying, can I buy you a drink? So can I buy you a drink? Let's put a simple animation in here, which is maybe the talk, flirt, charming one. And we can even just copy and paste this and change the name to Lainey. Okay. Let's just create some space so we can see what's happening. Right, I think it is time to test. Let's see if this works. Let's choose interested in dating guys and see if Jake appears and offers to buy us a drink. And he does. Brilliant. Now, here is something that you might get stuck on. If we preview this again and choose interested in dating girls this time, watch what happens. Jake still enters and offers to buy us a drink, which is not correct, making it seem like this bit of code that I've written doesn't work. Well, it's actually not the code that's the problem. It's down to the fact that there is no way to lose a flag once you've gained it, so that you can test both options. So this web previewer is remembering that we chose interested in guys the first time, and that is overriding our second choice. So what is the fix? Well, it is in this story modifiers menu. If you click that, you can see there's a flag section, which shows that both interested in girls and interested in guys have been selected, because our multiple playthroughs during testing have caused us to gain both of them. To be able to test properly, we have to deselect both of these so that we start with a blank slate once again. Let's close this, resume the story, and if I preview now, this should work correctly. So, interested in dating girls, hopefully Lainey will appear. And she does. Excellent. Now, of course, in a proper story, we would want a full scene within each of these sets of brackets. If we wanted Jake and Lainey to have very different personalities, then we would need to write out completely different scenes for both of them. But to save yourself a lot of time, I probably recommend writing up the dialogue for one of them, then copying and pasting into a word processor and using a find and replace function to swap out the names, and then you can change any lines that you don't think work for that specific character, or any lines that maybe would make sense for a guy but not a girl, etc. And this same bit of code works for any instance in which you want separate things to happen based on the MC's sexual preference. It doesn't necessarily have to be used for just deciding whether a guy or a girl is in a scene. How about during a conversation with somebody, the MC says something about fancying the boy next door when she was younger, if the reader chose interested in guys, and saying something about her experience of coming out to her parents when she was younger, if the reader chose interested in girls. All we need to do is copy this bit of code and change the contents of the first option to be the main character saying, "I had such a crush on the boy next door when I was younger." And if she's interested in girls, "My parents thought I had a crush on the boy next door when I was younger. They were quite surprised when I came out to them, but they took it really well." So this bit of custom code embedded into a longer conversation can make for a very personal experience for that reader. Of course, you can also add in a third option in the setup of "I'm interested in dating both." And then we would make a flag for that as well. So, interested in both. And when it comes to referencing this, you would add in another elif at the end of the code that you already have. So elif, then a space, and open up a regular bracket. Then our third flag name, so interested in both. Close the regular bracket, open up your curly bracket, 2 lines down, and close the curly bracket. And you would have to decide as the writer whether you want the female love interest or the male love interest to present themselves at this point. You could have a mix of both male and female love interests pop up over the course of the story. This would be completely down to your discretion which encounters happen at which time. If your story isn't heavily romance based, you could even add in a fourth option of "I'm not interested in dating anyone." And let's do a flag for "not interested in anyone." And once again, we just need to write another elif. So elif there, "not interested in anyone." And you could simply choose to have no content within these curly brackets at all if you just wanted to skip any potential romantic scenes. Or maybe you could have a friendship scene in here instead. One thing a lot of you guys seem to be unsure of in the comments is if these flags carry on into future episodes of the same story, and the answer is yes. You only need to ask your readers to choose their sexual preference once, and that decision will be remembered across all episodes for the entirety of the same story. So there we go guys, that is how you allow your readers to choose the sexuality of the main character. If this tutorial has helped you in any way, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the helpful tutorials that I've got coming up. And if you'd like to support me and get some exciting rewards like early access to these tutorials and personal help from me, head over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/author Joseph Evans, or click the join button underneath this video. If you have any questions about any of this, make sure to comment them down below, and if you know the answer to anyone else's questions in the comments, it would be awesome if you could give them a quick answer to help them out. Thank you so much for watching guys, good luck implementing this into your own episode stories, and I will see you all in my next video.